Hi everyone, Dr. Sonia Jensen here from Divine Elements, and a lot of you know that we will be starting our Metabolic Fix program in January 2020. And this program was a real success last time, and I think the reason why it was such a success is that we not only focused on physical health, but we also really emphasized our emotional well-being and our mental well-being, and how that has an influence on our physical body. So we talk a lot about Bruce Lipton. And Dr. Bruce Lipton has this quote, and I came across it today. And basically what it stated was that the moment we change our perception is the moment that we change our chemistry in our body. And that is so powerful because we have seen over the years working with individuals that those that have emotional resilience, those that have a mindset that will help them thrive instead of staying stuck in a state of survival, are the ones that have the success in all areas of life, not just in the physical body. So you can see when we're stuck in a state of survival, everything that we choose is very fear-based. So we see our world from that lens, from that perception, and then we start gathering evidence from the external world that will also amplify the fear that's already within us. So if we can control or train our physical body to shift from a state of survival, which is that sympathetic overdrive state, into a state where we're thriving and we're resting and digesting, which is that parasympathetic state, we're not only helping our physical body, but we're also retraining our mind. And that takes time, and that takes effort, and that takes support. We are very used to running on the hamster wheel. We're used to living in a state of stress, and some of us actually thrive off of it because that's all we know. So it really takes a community, and it takes vulnerability, and it takes sharing with others to realize that we are all in this together. And that's the beautiful thing about this program, is that there's a group of us, and whether you want to share or not, you learn from others' experiences. And the other thing that I think we need to shift is when we jump into something, whether it's a goal for our finances, whether it's a goal for a relationship, or whether it's our goal for our health, is that long-term perception versus the short-term, like the long-term gain versus the short-term. We're living in a world where everything is very instant, right? We want instant gratification. And if we have a mindset that something needs to shift instantly, we lose the beauty in the process. We lose the experiences that we're going to gain and the learning that we're going to have through the actual journey, because we're so destination based. Like everything outside of us, I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about how everything in our world is celebrated at the end of something. So say somebody's on a weight loss journey. We don't see the day to day. We only hear about that individual once they've lost the 100 pounds. Right? So we are living in a society that will reward the end result, not the journey. So that's a mindset shift that we really have to take responsibility for. And that's my next one. It's responsibility versus victim. A lot of times we have a story. We all have a story, whether it's a story about our physical health or mental health, traumas that we've dealt with, things that we're going through right now. I've had one of those days where actually haven't even showered yet because I've been in that state of being mom and felt I was running around a little bit and had to really slow myself down, and I chose a cup of tea over jumping into the shower to quickly get my kids. And the reason why I bring that up is that that too is my story, you know, like the mom that's going from here to there, making dinner, making the lunches, and it can be really easy for me to get stuck in that of having to do these things. And what I'm trying to really do is to reset my mindset to state that I get to do these things. So it changes my relationship to my story. And a lot of us have a story that starts to define us, and it starts to become our identity. So if we can recognize what that story is, and we can shift ourselves outside of it and observe how we're behaving, observe the thoughts that we're having, we can then shift our mindset and beliefs, and from there shift our physical body too. So those are three things that we need to look at together. Are we thriving or are we surviving? Are we looking at long-term results or short-term results? Are we taking responsibility for what life is giving us, or are we staying stuck in our story and being a victim? And I'm not downplaying anybody's story. We all have them, and All I'm trying to do is ignite some thought inside of you of how you can become more empowered. And the beauty of this 7-week program is that that's exactly what we're trying to do, is to empower you, because that relationship with food, sometimes what happens is that external thing has control over us. That external thing is driving our decisions, and we then have an internal battle and don't sometimes like ourselves for having that internal battle. But if we can shift that, if we can shift the mindset, if we can shift our relationship with it, we now are in control. We now are in the driver's seat of our lives, because it's everyone's birthright to be happy and healthy. And sometimes we just need that extra support that will allow us to be vulnerable, to face our fears, to look and observe, and just have people around us that are going to elevate us. So if you're curious about the Metabolic Fix, just write some questions down on the notes, and we will also write all the information and where you can find more information from our website.